Imagine the kinds of rural, American places where highways don't just quiet down, they vanish. Where your phone signal fades into emptiness, and the only way to measure time is by the changing color of the sky. Places where 600 people live on islands surrounded by endless water. Where the stars shine so brightly at night that city life feels like a blurry dream. And where a small town banned automobiles back in 1898, and stubbornly, proudly still lives the same way. Today we're not just exploring towns, we're stepping into worlds. Into quiet pockets of America so remote, so untouched, that they feel suspended somewhere between history and wilderness. These aren't postcard vacation spots, these are communities where people actually live, face the storms, survive the winters, and choose solitude as a lifestyle. Many of these places sit in the far reaches of the U.S. Upper Peninsula or on isolated islands only reachable by ferry, snowmobile, or a tiny plane braving the cold winds. Stay with us till the end. The final place is so isolated, so wild that even the sky above it seems heavier and darker than the deserts of the Southwest. And the question remains, which of these incredible towns could you survive in for one whole year? Number 10. Copper Harbor, where the road literally ends. Think of a place so remote that it feels like the last dot on Google Maps. Copper Harbor isn't the end of the world, but it's the closest thing you'll find in the Midwest. Located at the far tip of Michigan's Keweenaw Peninsula, the highway doesn't pass through Copper Harbor. It simply ends here, swallowed by thick pine forests and the cold breath of Lake Superior. As you approach this town, the world slowly lets go of you. The noise, the pressure, the constant digital buzz. What replaces it is the scent of pine needles, the whisper of wind through endless trees, the soft crunch of gravel beneath your boots, and only a few dozen residents living life at a pace the rest of the world forgot. In the 1800s, this was a booming mining frontier. Today, the mines are silent. The forest took back the land, and Copper Harbor returned to being what it always wanted to be. Quiet, raw, and deeply connected to nature. A couple of lodges, a handful of wooden shops, and a road that fades into dirt like a trail, leading off the edge of the civilized world. On clear nights, the entire sky erupts with stars, so many that it feels overwhelming. And sometimes the green waves of the northern lights drift above, rooftops like spirits dancing through the night. Copper Harbor is proof that when you travel far from the highway, you travel closer to yourself. Number 9. Silver City, where silence is the main attraction. Silver City is one of the rarest kinds of towns, a place famous not for what it has, but for what it doesn't. No glowing neon signs, no malls, no crowds, no rush. Just the eternal rhythm of waves meeting shore, mountains turning purple at sunset, and forests rising like walls around a forgotten world. Back in the 19th century, this was an active port for logging and mining ships. Today, it's a peaceful shoreline community consisting of rustic cabins, a few cozy lodges, and endless miles of quiet trails where your footsteps are the only sound. Visitors don't come here for fun, they come to breathe. One cabin owner summed it up perfectly. We don't sell convenience, we sell silence. And that silence is priceless. Number 8. Ontonagon, where time moves slowly. Ontonagon is a place where 3 highways meet, and then simply stop. Like the world ran out of road and decided to rest for a while. Once a thriving logging town, Ontonagon now feels like a quiet memory preserved in wood, water, and wind. Old houses with peeling paint, calm empty streets, and the earthy smell of the lake all blend into an atmosphere that feels frozen somewhere. Between past and present, most people come here to explore the Porcupine Mountains, but some stay longer, drawn by a feeling that can't be put into words. It's the kind of town where the old rhythm of life still beats softly, slowly, steadily. Number 7. Big Bay, a town at the end of a forest road. To reach Big Bay, you drive through a narrow forest road that gets quieter with every mile. Eventually, the trees open up, and you find a tiny settlement sitting right at the edge of water. Here stands a historic lighthouse that now operates as a bed and breakfast, though locals still whisper that the old lighthouse keeper walks the halls during stormy nights. In the 1950s, a dramatic real-life event in Big Bay inspired the famous novel and later the film, Anatomy of a Murder. But today the place is the opposite of dramatic. A peaceful hideaway where people come to escape the world, reconnect with nature, and let the wilderness reset their minds. Woods, waves, wind. Nothing more, nothing less. Number 6. Munising, gateway to a surreal coastline. On paper, Munising looks like a simple lakeside town. A few cafes, a few streets, a harbor. But step onto a boat heading toward pictured rocks, and the illusion shatters instantly. Suddenly, you're facing towering walls of multicolored cliffs streaked with reds, blues, greens, and golds. Waterfalls drip down like strings of crystal. Caves hide in the shadows, carved over centuries by the brutal, icy power of Lake Superior. The moment you see it, you realize why people call this place unreal. Because it looks like a fantasy landscape. something that belongs in a dream, not on a map. Number 5, Grand Marais, a village of sun, sand, and snowy silence. At the far end of pictured rocks lies Grand Marais, a quiet village with a calm bay, sandy beaches, and streets where silence is almost a character of its own. In summer, the place wakes up gently as visitors stroll around, explore the dunes, or simply sit by the water. But winter is a different world entirely. Heavy snow falls for weeks. Roads turn white. The whole town feels wrapped in a soft, cold blanket. One local describes it beautifully. On winter nights here, you can actually hear the snow falling. Not many places in America can offer silence so deep it becomes a sound. Number 4. Paradise where nature rules. Everything. Paradise is a name that captures attention, but it only tells part of the story. Yes, it's breathtakingly beautiful, but this isn't the warm, tropical paradise you might imagine. Instead, it's a raw, untamed wilderness, a place that demands respect and awe from anyone who steps foot here. Here, nature writes the rules. Waves of Lake Superior crash against the rugged shoreline with a power that makes you pause, their white foam exploding like liquid lightning. The winds howl through the trees as if ancient spirits themselves are wandering the forests, whispering forgotten tales. Every rock, every tree, every stretch of sand seems infused with history and untold stories. Paradise has a haunted charm too. Shipwrecks that disappeared beneath the lake's icy, relentless waters linger in local lore. Some say you can still hear faint echoes of creaking wood or distant calls, carried on the wind if you stand quietly long enough at the shore. Visitors come here seeking both awe and solitude. In the mornings, they witness the thunderous spectacle of Taquamenon Falls, where golden brown waters roar over cliffs in a display of raw energy and unyielding force. In the evenings, the gaze shifts to Whitefish Point, standing at the edge of the endless lake as the sky paints itself in shades of violet, pink, and deep indigo. It's a view that feels almost otherworldly, as if the lake stretches into eternity. Every season offers its own dramatic personality. Winter cloaks the forests in snow, creating a silent, almost mystical world where every breath hangs in the icy air. Spring brings a delicate awakening. Wildflowers peek through the thawing earth, and the winds soften just enough to carry the scent of pine and fresh water. Summer invites long hikes along cliffside trails, with the lake's cool breeze offering relief and reflection. Even autumn is unforgettable, as fiery foliage reflects in the waters, turning every glance into a masterpiece. Paradise doesn't bend to human convenience. There are no bustling streets, no neon signs, no rush of traffic. Instead, it offers something far rarer, a chance to feel truly small, to marvel at forces greater than ourselves, and to experience silence that is anything but empty. Paradise is not gentle. It is relentless, raw, and alive, yet it leaves an imprint on every visitor. A feeling that lingers long after you leave, as if the winds, waves, and forests have whispered something eternal into your soul. Number 3, Cedarville. At the doorway of 36 islands, Cedarville is far more than just a town. It's a gateway to a miniature world of water, woods, and wonder. Imagine stepping into a place where the land dissolves into dozens of tiny islands, each one a hidden gem, surrounded by the gentle embrace of Lake Huron. 36 islands, each dotted with quaint cabins, weathered docks, and narrow waterways that weave through the landscape like threads of liquid sapphire. Here, life moves with the rhythm of the water. The soft lapping of waves against a wooden dock sets the pace of the day. Boats glide silently across glassy channels, leaving behind trails that shimmer in the sunlight. A cool breeze drifts through the pine trees, carrying the scent of fresh water and the faint aroma of firewood from island cabins. Every sound, every movement feels deliberate, slow, and in harmony with nature. Cedarville has a rich history. Once a vital hub for the logging industry, it was a place where timber floated down channels and boats bustled with activity. Today, that industrial bustle has been replaced by quiet beauty and unhurried living. The islands themselves feel timeless, as though each one holds secrets from centuries past. Stories of fishermen, explorers, and families who lived simply in sync with the seasons. Summer in Cedarville is magical. Mornings begin with the soft glow of sunlight dancing on the water. Families and travelers launch small boats, kayaks, or canoes, gliding through channels that feel like hidden rivers in a fairy tale. Children skip stones along quiet shorelines, while adults sit back on porches, listening to nothing but the wind, the water, and the occasional call of a loon. As the sun dips toward the horizon, the sky paints itself in shades of pink, orange, and lavender, reflecting perfectly in the calm waters below. In winter, the islands transform into a serene, snow-blanketed world. Ice forms along the edges of the channels, and the once busy docks sit silent under frosty skies. The only movement comes from the occasional bird or the soft crunch of snow under a visitor's boots, creating a sense of solitude and peace that is increasingly rare in today's world. Cedarville is a sanctuary for those seeking a slower pace, a place where the day's rhythm is set not by clocks or schedules, but by nature itself. It's a town that teaches you to notice the small things, the shimmer of sunlight on water, the gentle ripple of a passing boat, the calm that settles deep into your chest when the world slows down. For anyone yearning for island life, yet unwilling to travel across oceans, Cedarville offers a perfect escape. Here summer days stretch long and quiet, and each evening closes with the soft, lapping music of water against the shore, leaving you with a feeling of calm that lasts long after you leave. Number 2, Isle Royale, a journey into solitude. Imagine a place where you don't take a road to get there. You take a boat, a small plane, or sometimes just sheer determination. Officially, it's an island, but it feels like a lost fragment of America that still runs entirely by nature's rules. This is Isle Royale, a national park where no highway passes, no car horns blare, and no shopping plazas shine. The island is famous for two things: silence and wilderness. Its trails are long yet quiet. Walk the forests early in the morning and it feels like time itself has slowed down. Occasionally you hear the crunch of a moose's steps, the scent of damp grass, or the gentle lapping of waves on a distant shore. Only a few dozen people live here year-round. Tourists come seasonally. The rest of the time the land moves at its own pace. Isle Royale has a curious history. Once a hopeful mining outpost, later a refuge for fishermen, the island eventually returned to nature's hands. Everything here is either centuries old or grown spontaneously. Forests, lakes, rocky shores, and small wooden cabin, all pure, authentic, and untouched. At night the sky reveals colors that cities only show in books. Stars the Milky Way, and occasionally the northern lights put on a private show for those who've made the effort to arrive. A park ranger puts it simply: this place is for people who are tired of running through the world and want to set their own pace again. Isle Royale is not a destination, it's an experience. Not an ending, but a beginning of a life where silence itself becomes a language. Number 1, Mackinac Island, a step back in time. What if I told you there's a town in America where cars still aren't allowed? You might laugh, but Mackinac Island is the one place where a decision made in the 1890s still rules today. No cars, only horses, bicycles, and walking. The island feels like stepping backward in time. Wooden hotels, vintage-style shops, streets without vehicles, only the clopping of horse hooves, and the sweet scent of Mackinac fudge in the air. It's a scene that feels cinematic yet completely real. The streets come alive at sunrise. Shopkeepers sweep the sidewalks, bicycles line up in neat rows, and horses escort visitors along the quiet roads. Locals live at this same pace, slow, peaceful, and completely horn-free. History is embedded in every building. British troops once camped here. Trade once flowed across the entire Great Lakes. Today, forts, cannons, and old wooden bunkers remain preserved as if ready for a modern-day return. The interior of the island tells its own story. Maple trees, dense forests, rocky cliffs, and a winding path leading to the island's highest point, where the entire blue expanse of water stretches below, glistening in sunlight. At night, Mackinac Island transforms completely. Streets are silent, shop windows glow softly, and the breeze from the lake brings a strange serenity. As a hotel manager once said, people don't come here to take a vacation. They come here to learn how to pause. Mackinac Island is that corner of America that still breathes in its original form. Without machines, without noise, and without hurry.